It's the Road to World Cup 26 podcast, your deep dive into everything FIFA World Cup every single week. Part of the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello. You're listening to Road to World Cup 26 podcast. It's getting juicy. It's Sunday afternoon here in the UK. So in a few hours, England are facing Mexico. And there's been a lot of talk about that. We'll touch on that. Brazil are also facing Norway. And we're going to reflect on, since we last spoke to you, 5 games or so, there's been some interesting stuff. I mean, the Cape Verdi, goodness me. Wow. The heroes of Cape Verdi, they've shown how it's done. And right at the other end of the scale, an absolute disgraceful performance by Paraguay. Absolutely disgusting performance. Although that wasn't the most disgraceful thing on a pitch, because they only came second in the disgraceful stakes to a shambolic refereeing performance, which we're going to touch on that as well, because it's probably the worst refereeing performance I've ever seen in my life. It was disgraceful. And other things as well. Hello, Ken. How are you? You're looking a bit like you've been walking through the woods at 2 a.m, my friend.
Funny enough, I was walking through the woods at 2 a.m. this morning. We decided, I had a bit of I may have referred to this in the last episode. I had a bit of a, let's say we call it a skinful in the UK last night with a couple of pals. Got back to the cottage, decided to go for a walk in the woods. It's like something out of Blair Witch Project. It was the kind of thing where you come across a thing on Wikipedia about people disappearing in the woods, never to be seen again. And we were ticking all the boxes, but we managed to get home. But it's let's just say I'm feeling.
Try again tonight.
I'm feeling
on the basis that you came back.
Thank
Give it another go.
I feel a little bit delicate. You just go gentle with me today, yeah, because obviously, my head's still a little bit sore.
Yeah. Have you seen the fact that half your face is missing, or you've not got to that bit yet?
I haven't looked in the mirror yet. I can't bring myself to do it.
I wouldn't recommend it at any stage, to be fair. Right, let's get on with it then. A few not qualifiers, round of 32 games, which are qualifiers in a sense, because you're qualifying for the round of 16. Most notably, Argentina versus Cape Verdi, for a brilliant performance by Cape Verdi. And out of all the sort of rather wet lettuce or brutish or ultra defensive or rather shambolic performances we've seen from underdogs in games this World Cup, and there've been a few, we're going to come to one in a bit, Cape Verdi showed how it's done.
Unbelievable. I mean, we to be honest, and to give ourselves a little bit of credit, because we've been on this road for a long time, we'd already noticed Cape Verdi were there on merit, and they're a good team. They'd qualified on merit. They'd qualified ahead of some pretty good teams. You don't do that over a long qualification process without having something about you. And they were excellent. And, I think what really astonished me is the energy they brought to the game. They never once took a step back. They just went forward, relentless. I mean, Argentina were really on the ropes for parts of that game.
I don't think Argentina would have expected them to play as well as they played. And what I liked about them was, yes, they kept a very tight shape when Argentina had the ball. They all dropped in and everything, but they didn't just stay there like we've seen teams like Ghana or Paraguay do. When they got the ball, they looked to go forward, and they scored 2 goals. The second goal was one of the goals of the World Cup so far.
I think it is the goal of the World Cup. What was impressive about them?
He didn't know what to do, did he? It was Sidney Cabral. He didn't know what to do because he scored. Then he sort of ran. I mean, the look of shock on his face when that ball curled in from the edge of the area right across the goalkeeper into the top corner. He sort of looked at it for a moment and thought, I can't quite believe what I've just done. And he then kind of ran around for a bit. They ended up running into the crowd and up the steps.
Yeah, so
a bit like they do
Wimbledon.
when you win Wimbledon. Yeah, you kind of run up to
that was
into
fantastic.
the box. And,
I think he was looking for his girlfriend, wasn't he? Or something?
Yeah. Fair play to him. Brilliant.
Yeah, it was magnificent, and it started right at the back. The amazing thing about Cape Verde was their power and their speed on the transition. This is one of the things that underdogs don't do. As you say, they can defend doggedly, but there's no transition. What was amazing about Cape Verde is that they had the energy and they had the skill and they had the endurance to continue to press Argentina on the transition, which is just astonishing given their resources.
So that was brilliant, and real congratulations to them, because I thought they were terrific, and you could see the disappointment on their face, couldn't you, when they lost, when the final whistle went.
Yeah.
You could see it, and it was a bit of a crap goal to lose to as well, just a corner, and then it's an own goal, but it was it wasn't an own goal proper, if you like. It was just deflected in.
Yeah, it was. It was
a bit harsh. To be honest, I looked at it, I thought it was a bit harsh to call it an own goal, but there you go. And fair play to you, and we look forward to seeing
fairy tale
next time round.
fairy tale performance by Cape Verde. They've lifted everybody's spirits to the World Cup. Every World Cup needs a team like that who is going to massively outperform and scare the living daylights out of big teams. Cape Verde absolutely fulfilled that at this World Cup.
100%. Elsewhere, massive controversy at the end of the Portugal-Croatia game, where Portugal, having scored in the 94th minute and thought they'd won it, Guardiola then scored a few minutes later for Croatia, right in the depths of injury time, only to see it ruled out by the footballing version of the Snicko meter, which we've seen in cricket for quite some time over here. And it was ruled out for offside, and there was a lot of controversy about it, because I mean, there's no angle, there's no possible angle on the TV cameras which showed that he touched the ball, and yet there's a tiny little bump. Everybody will know by now, they've got these microchips in these footballs, and there's a tiny little bump which shows that it made contact with something or what have you. You might want to argue, I know you've now got your arms folded and looking cross, so I know what's coming from you here. You might want to argue that the margin for error, there has to be a margin for error with these things, and it was so slight. But it showed a touch. Even if it came off a hair follicle, it showed a touch, and a touch is a touch, and as a result, it's offside.
Correct answer.
I knew you were going to say, look at you.
Correct
look
answer.
At you. I can see you gearing up.
Correct answer. Because actually, that's what the technology is there to do. That's why FIFA invested in that technology in the ball. That's why they do it in cricket. It's because these sensors can detect things that the human eye can't see. And at the end of the day, we want the fairest outcome, the fairest result from all these kind of decisions. And if we can use technology and sensor technology to make those decisions better, I'm all for it. It's sad, but you either embrace that technology or you forget about it and never use it. I'm glad we use it, and it's the right decision. Disappointing for Croatia, but the right decision.
You can't just choose which bits of it to use and say, we'll that's a little touch, therefore it doesn't count.
Yeah,
it's like you're either in or you're out, and I quite like it. It's funny in cricket, because you see it in cricket where a bat or a pad hit the ball and all right, they've got ultra edge. Actually, that would have made it easier if football had its own version of ultra edge, because you could actually see, even though you can't see it with the naked eye up front, when you slow it down, you can see. And everybody just accepts it. Nobody ever says that's unfair, or nobody ever says, everybody goes, okay, fine. It hit, even if it's the tiniest of tiny hits, it hit, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
So
I'm afraid so. I mean, we should say, though, that in that game, I think Croatia was just as good as Portugal. I thought Portugal were pretty unconvincing, really. Good comeback. They went 1-0 down.
Yeah, your mate Ronaldo scored.
Yeah, but he was really cross when he was substituted, wasn't he? Did you see that? He was proper grumpy. And that's Ronaldo for you.
I've no issue with that. I don't mind players being grumpy when they're substituted, because that's football and they want to be out there playing. I mean, Ronaldo's a special case, obviously, but generally, if players are unhappy to be taken off, I don't see that as a problem or a bad sign. But anyway, so Portugal through for a very juicy game against Spain. Elsewhere, Switzerland beat Algeria in a very run-of-the-mill game.
Always in
very
control
easy.
there.
No argument there. And then the last one was Egypt beating Australia, and that was notable for the fact that we saw this is a kind of great tactical move which backfired spectacularly. In the 119th minute, just as the teams were readying for penalties and the referee had his lips to the whistle almost, Australia switched out their goalkeepers. So off went Beach, who'd been playing all game. On came Matty Ryan for penalties, because he's a penalty-saving expert. And lo and behold, he got nowhere near any of the penalties. He not only got nowhere near any of the penalties, he dived so early that even if the penalty taker thought, I'm going to put it that side, they had time to change their mind. And if you look
Yeah.
at Mo Salah's penalty, everybody's go, "Oh, Mo Salah's done a Panenka." He didn't. He completely mishit that.
Yeah, it was very savable.
And Ryan had already gone, and
Oh yeah, he was sitting down by that point.
I think he was back in the bar. And any goalkeeper worth his salt, I think, probably would have saved that. So
I've got a point on this, and it's a similar point. You remember when England once subbed in penalty takers right at the last minute? I think it was Saka back in the day.
It was in the Euros final against Italy. In 2021.
Yeah. My point is a very similar one to that. If you're going to do that, give them 15 minutes. Don't give them 15 seconds. It's not going to work. So if you want to, change things for penalty shootout, half time in extra time, put your other keeper on. Get him familiarised with the situation, the occasion. Get him a feel. Get his hands on the ball a few times. Don't do it 10 seconds before the end of the game. It's stupidity. So I think tactically it's a very, very astute thing to do, but do it at the appropriate time, not just immediately before the penalty shootout. That would be my take.
Well, because what that means is the players don't have any time whatsoever.
He's stone cold, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think it was Rashford and Sancho, if my memory serves me right.
Yeah,
I think it was Rashford and Sancho got subbed on literally right at the time, and they're both of them. It was their first kick of the football.
Ridiculous.
Was the penalty, and they both missed. And I think it's really unfair to blame them too much on this.
Southgate. It's a stupid tactical coaching decision. This was the equivalent on the goalkeeping side. So, I like the idea. I like the idea of substituting good penalty takers in, but for God's sake, give them 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I once, when I was a coach of a team 2 years ago, I was a coach of an under-18s team, and we got to the final of the cup, and with a minute to go before penalty shootout, I substituted my goalkeeper.
1 minute to go. 1 minute
in the 119th minute.
And what happened?
And I put in a new goalkeeper. He saved 3 of the penalties, and we won the cup.
Okay,
I'm an absolute genius. I am a tactical genius. I told the referee beforehand this is what I was going to do, so just bear with me. I wasn't time waster. I said, look, if it gets to that moment, I'm going to substitute him. But to your point, I suppose, the player I put in goal had been playing outfield.
Oh, okay.
And he'd scored a couple outfield, so he'd played the full 90 or 120 already. And I just stuck him in goal because he's a really good.
He's familiar with the pace of the game. He's familiar with the occasion. But don't just take someone off the bench. But so that's very interesting. The only other thing to mention: Colombia beat Ghana. Good. We didn't want Ghana to go through.
Yeah,
I thought Colombia were very dominant. They look a decent team. Colombia.
Ghana 0 shots on target. What a surprise! Go home and please don't come back until you change your attitudes. Speaking of which, let's move on to
attitude. Yeah. Nice segue.
Thank you very much. Let's move on to a very controversial game in some way, which was Paraguay 0, France 1 in the second of the last 16 games played yesterday. The first one was Canada 0, Morocco 3. Not much to talk about here, really. I thought Canada played pretty well. The first half, they were probably just about on top, but Morocco didn't really turn up. When Morocco did turn up in the second half, I thought their goals were very good. In the end, they ran away with it, I think, a little bit. And Canada were just exposed for being not for lack of energy, not for lack of heart, not for lack of effort, just that little bit of quality which Morocco had up top.
That's exactly it. Morocco were far more clinical. Canada looked the better team for a long period of this. I thought considering I've been, blowing the trumpet for Morocco, I thought Canada were going to win this. They really turned up. I thought they were fantastic for the first hour. And I thought the first goal was going to go to Canada. But they had chance after chance after chance. They just couldn't score. And then Morocco did. And then it was never, ever in doubt after that.
Indeed. Right. Let's go for a break. Because then I want to get into the worst refereeing performance I've ever seen.
But you're a ref, and I know you've put some shocking performances.
Are you
absolutely sure that this is worse than one of yours?
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Wow.
And look, every referee has the odd stinker. Very rare referees have a complete and utter stinker for 99
I know
minutes.
You have the odd stinker, like 1 game, 3 games, 5 games, 7th game, 9th game, 11th game.
Read that out.
The Road to World Cup 26 podcast has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements, because your body is unique. And because without knowing exactly what your body needs, if you just take off-the-shelf supplements, you may not be getting what you do need, maybe getting too much of what you don't. So Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements specifically designed for your body. If you want to be clever, click on the show notes, click on the link, get 50% off your first order.
It's the Road to World Cup 26 podcast, your deep dive into everything FIFA World Cup every single week. Part of the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Road to World Cup 26 podcast. We like to hear from you. Do email us in at roadtoworldcup26@gmail.com. Road to World Cup 26 at gmail.com. A couple of bits of correspondence that have come in the last day or so. Now then, Ken, on your last podcast, you were responding to a lovely email we had in from Laura from Illinois.
Oh, yeah.
And said to her that if Portugal won the FA Cup, you would fly over to Illinois and take her out for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she heard that and she's very excited.
Great.
Not for seeing you, but just for a bit of dinner, I'd imagine. And she said, "No, thanks. Yeah, thanks to Ken for this." And she said, "The episode actually dropped my birthday, by the way, so it totally made my day." She said, "Let's talk about Cape Verde game." Well, we already have. Thank you very much, Laura.
No, let's talk about this meal because absolutely, if Portugal win the World Cup, I will fly to Springfield, Illinois, wherever she is in Illinois, and I will buy her dinner.
Well,
if they don't, she got to fly over here and buy me.
I think that's fair.
That's fair, isn't it? That's only fair.
She's put some thought to this because she says, "As for dinner, I like my steak medium well," which is a good choice. Let's face it.
Yeah. No, obviously, get the restaurant booked.
So, well, you may be on safe ground because Portugal are coming up against Spain, and I think that might be it. So Laura might be headed over.
Yeah, Laura, better start saving up for that flight
to the UK. Also, a lovely email from Bassem, who is a German living in California. He says, "Love the show. I have a suggestion." Thank you. That's very kind of you, by the way, Bassem. Thank you. A suggestion of what you might want to talk about in the pod regarding England, and this is an interesting one because he raises something that I didn't already know. And Ken, I don't think you knew either when we talked about it before.
Oh, I did.
He said, address. Right. So he says this. He like any self-deprecating German, he was a bit. He said, "I used to take glee in how deep we would go into a tournament, but those days appear over for now." All agree. So he says, England has never beaten any of the current World Cup holders or runners-up in a proper knockout game since 1966. And we know what happened then. England won the World Cup in 1966, in case anybody didn't know. Since that day, we've never beaten a current World Cup holder or runner-up.
Right. Is that the current holder or anyone that's actually won the World Cup in that time? You think? I
presume it says current holder or runner-up. Yeah. So that would in this World Cup qualify for Argentina or Spain, I guess.
Yeah, which
it's odd. It's odd
that we haven't. Yeah. I mean,
we might not have played them, obviously, but that's a lot of World Cups, mate. That is a lot of World Cups. So I'm going to look into this.
I think we need to get some clarification on that. It's a brilliant stat, by the way. It's a brilliant stat, and one I've not heard of actually. So does that? I mean, are Mexico a holder? They're not, are they?
Have Mexico ever won the World Cup? No,
I don't think so.
No.
So we're set on safe ground tonight then. But hey, this is the first. I mean, we're going to have to do it if we're going to win. We're going to have to. Certainly, I think Argentina are in our half of the draw. So I think we're going to have to get them in. I think we'll get them in the semis if it all goes to plan. But we've got
so it depends whether they mean current holders or any holders. That's a fair point. Bassam, let me know, please. Let me know. Do you mean a current holder, i.e. this would be Argentina or Spain, or do you mean anybody who's ever won the World Cup?
Yeah,
we must have beaten somebody who's won the World Cup. So
I don't know.
In a knockout game, maybe not.
That could definitely be true.
Because to be fair, until Gareth Southgate took over, we never got. We started getting to well, whatever we did, quarter-final, semi-final. And we didn't really get very far in these competitions. So yeah, interesting. We'll look into that. But let me know. So yes, thank you for emails. So do let us know. Do let us know what you want us to do for the next podcast. Do let us know what you think of the pod, etc., etc. Road to World Cup 26 at gmail.com. All right, here we go then. Here we go. Paraguay 0.
Here we go. Strap
France
yourselves in, everyone.
1. Mr. Ilgis Tantashev of Uzbekistan. Please put down your whistle, put down your cards, walk away, and never return to them again.
Yeah.
Because that was an utterly shambolic performance. And it is only by pure luck and, your incompetence notwithstanding, pure luck that one of the French players wasn't seriously injured in that game. Because the longer it went on, some of those challenges by an absolutely disgraceful Paraguay side were appalling.
Well, yeah.
There's no well.
No. I'm not qualifying that in any sense. It was absolutely disgraceful. And what I was going to add to that is that some of it was just assault. They weren't even challenges. These were just things.
But they were going in to deliberately injure the player.
After the whistle had blown, after the play had stopped, just someone going in and kicking the back of someone's leg or kicking the back of. I mean, it's disgraceful. It really was terrible. How France kept their cool is how Mbappe kept his cool and did it with such aplomb.
It was brilliant. I mean, massive shout out to Mbappe, not only for being an amazing player, another goal for him from the penalty spot. Oh, and the referee didn't even see that penalty. I mean, how can you miss a penalty like that? But then again, he'd missed absolutely everything else. Humiliatingly for him, there were 3 yellow cards during the game, all to French players. And there were no yellow cards to Paraguay, who should really only have ended up with 8 or 9 men on the pitch. Not a single yellow card. I have no idea what he was doing. I have no idea what he was seeing. I have no idea why he thought he could issue 3 yellow cards to French players. I mean, to be fair, a couple of them, I mean, they were probably all were justified in their own way, but none of them were as bad as some of the tackles that were coming. And I can't even call them tackles coming in from Paraguay. And then not only that, but he allowed Paraguay to cheat, to dive, to scuff up the penalty spot. He wasn't helped in any way, shape, or form broadly by his assistants, who were just as incompetent. And it took what was an absolutely blatant penalty. He didn't bother with that. It took the VAR to send him to the screen. I'm quite surprised he actually gave it, to be honest with you. I'm quite surprised he gave it. I guess, well, wave it away. Why not? It was just shambolic. It was the worst refereeing performance I've ever seen.
Now,
it really was.
Question for you, a serious question about refereeing, and I think the standard refereeing in this competition has been worse than ever. I think part of that is to do with the expanded World Cup. In fact, there are more games, there's 48 teams, there's a lot more refs. And one of the things this is kind of suggests to me, and it might be a controversial point, I'd be interested in your view on it, is should we really be allowing a ref that refs in the Uzbek League to take control of a round of 16 game in the World Cup?
No, absolutely not.
Because this is suggesting to me is that the standard and the general quality and the breadth of difference in quality in world refereeing is wider than I thought.
We've seen a lot of that, yeah. And that's been one of the key interesting lessons of this World Cup. I don't think I'd never really noticed it to the extent before. But no, this guy absolutely should not be reffing at this level. Nowhere near.
He wouldn't be reffing in the professional leagues.
It's like saying to me, off you go and referee a Premier League game. And I could probably do a better job.
Oh, you would have done a better job than that.
Because the
really weird thing is, if you actually, because there's stuff on the ref cam, wasn't there? You could see in real time what was happening. And he was presumably seeing what we're seeing on the ref cam.
Yeah.
And it's just like, didn't you see that?
No, well, absolutely. Yeah. So he's either not seeing it, he's frozen in the minute, he's terrified to make a decision because he knows the Paraguay players are going to get round him and give him grief, or he's just completely incompetent and doesn't know what a foul is.
Or he might be just about to pick up keys for his huge villa in Ascension.
Whatever reason it was, let's just make sure that when we get to the round of 16, we've got proper referees from proper leagues or from proper countries, by the way, who are used to handling these sorts of occasions.
Proper
So look,
countries. You can't say that.
what?
Uzbekistan is a proper country.
No, you know what I mean. No, I'm not saying it's not a proper country. No, I didn't mean that. What I meant was who are used to refereeing at a high level.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah, and to be honest, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter if 12 of them come from Europe. You don't have to spread it round. It's not it's not a situation where you have to be fair in that way. The most important thing is let's say you've got 50 referees at the World Cup. They've got to be the 50 best referees, not just we've got to give one to Uzbekistan. We've got to give one. What is there a Cape Verde referee? I don't know, but it's got to change.
Anyway, I mean, honestly, I've no words. Well, I've got a few words, but hey, let's talk about Paraguay because they played their part. They were an absolute disgrace as well. And the two Guay teams, Paraguay and Uruguay, have brought nothing to this World Cup, and they should get on the boat along with Ghana and sail off into the sunset and not dirty a World Cup until they've learned a bit of respect and can play the game properly.
Well, I remember the games I've seen the footage of the games in like '66, where I think it was Uruguay and Italy. It was an absolute war. It was a battle, and this had the feel of a 1960s, 1970s performance where it really did try to kick the opposition into submission. And essentially, I think they had a strategy. To be honest, I think Paraguay had a strategy. We can't beat these guys man for man. We've got in some way got to break their composure. We've got to break them somehow. And we're just going to have to use all the dark arts to try and make that happen. And, there's a bit of that is okay, but they went way too far.
No, I've got no problem with that strategy. And for the first bit of the game where they defended well and stoically, they were due credit for that. But the whole thing just got out of hand. And
well, that's the ref's fault, though, isn't it?
Totally. Well, it isn't. It isn't. Yes, it is the ref's fault, but it's also these players have got to take responsibility. They've got to take responsibility for their own actions. And as the game went on, they got dirtier and dirtier and dirtier and dirtier. Loads of off the ball stuff, loads of cheating, loads of diving. You saw what happened with a penalty when he tried to scuff the penalty spot. They were just a disgrace to this competition. And football's moved on, I'm afraid, from those days. And rightly so. It's just they've got no place at a World Cup round of 16 playing like that.
Well, wasn't it an interesting contrast between Cape Verde and Paraguay?
100%.
I mean, you could not see a more different type of performance, and you could not see a more different type of reaction by the rest of the world for what they'd seen. I mean, Cape Verde are right on the. Everybody's talking about them. Everybody's talking about Paraguay for the wrong reasons.
Indeed. Anyway, let's move on to 3 games coming up in the next few hours. One is Brazil are on against Norway later on today. What are you thinking?
I cannot wait for this game. I cannot wait for this game. I think Brazil. I mean, Brazil were better in the last game. Norway have been consistently good all the way through this, and Haaland is just, Haaland rather. It's just
Is that a combination of his 2 names? You're at it again, mate.
Haaland.
After you invented an entirely new player the other day called Gordon Rashford, you're now blending Erling Haaland and calling him Haaland.
Erland Haaland
Nice to see you.
Is on fire. So I think it's going to be a very, very interesting game. I have got a nagging suspicion Norway are going to win this.
Yeah, I think it's too close to call. I mean, you could make an argument for anything going on in this game. Brazil, I think, are getting better after a slow start. Norway are playing well, but can't really defend, but great going forward. And whatever happens in any football game, if you've got a player of Haaland's quality, you're always in the game. You've always got a chance. Yeah, I can see it being a highly entertaining, close-run thing.
I think Norway will score. I think could be quite a high-scoring game. It could be a 3-2, a 4-2.
Yeah,
quite easily this game.
Yeah, let's hope so. Then on to Mexico versus England, and we've talked a lot. In fact, since we last spoke about this, they thought about they're trying to move the game, weren't they? Or they thought about moving the game 5 hours earlier because of weather. The weather forecast at the time of kickoff, which is 1 a.m. our time, and there are various times it's 5 hours. Is it 6 hours ahead? Is it? I think it's
It would be 6 hours ahead.
7 o'clock their time.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6. I think it's 7 o'clock their time. There's
Yeah.
meant to be horrendous weather and showers and
Yeah.
all that, so it might not kick off then. We'll see. Altitude. Everybody's been talking about the altitude. What do you reckon, Ken? You fancy England for this, don't you?
I do a little bit. I was gratified by your thoughts on the last podcast when you were saying, well, actually, if you're not going to be there for 15 days, be there for 15 hours in terms of acclimatization, get in and get out. I think the weather, it could have been, let's be honest, it could have been 39 degrees in altitude, and altitude. It's only going to be one of those things now. It looks like it's going to be reasonable conditions.
Yeah, 20 degrees-ish, 22, 23 degrees.
Which is it's much more comfortable. I think the critical thing on this, and to put it in American parlance, is the first quarter. The first 22 and a half minutes before the first hydration break. I think if we can get through that, because Mexico has tended to dominate that first quarter, and they've just overrun their opposition. And if we can stand firm for that first quarter, then I think our chances greatly increase.
I would agree.
And I do think so much of it depends on what the formation's going to be. We all know where our strengths, we all know where our weaknesses are. Our weaknesses in terms of the last team, essentially for me, are down the flanks, both in that starting 11, both at fullback and also on the wings. That did not work at all. And we have to change all 4 of them positions, in my opinion, or certainly 3 of those 4 positions. So, I want to see Gordon in. I want to see Saka in. Saka in? No, I mean that'd be sweet, wouldn't it? I want to see Saka in. I don't know what we're going to do at right back.
Well, hopefully Reece James is fit. That's the suggestion. Reece James is going to be fit, and he's first choice. Having missed the last 2 games with the hamstring problem, he is first choice right back. If he's not fit, then it's anybody's pick. I mean, I said the other day, I raised the question of Declan Rice.
Kwanzaa's supposed to be fit, isn't he?
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, I can't make up my mind on Rice because he would be arguably the best.
He's the best footballer
choice, but he said he didn't want to play there. We do definitely lose him out of our midfield, and that's going to be important. So, on reflection, I've changed my mind on Declan Rice, and I do want him in the midfield.
On reflection, I've changed my mind on Declan Rice, and I want him in midfield. I think Anderson and Rice are going to be critical in that first quarter. Yeah. So I think we've got to play our best. Midfield is going to be very important. We are going to come under tremendous pressure. Konsa and Gay in the middle, I think, is going to.
Konsa and Gay in the middle, and then either James or Spence on the right, I guess, and then O'Reilly on the left. So that's what it'll be, I think.
Yeah. Spence hasn't been great, has he?
No. But he's the only recognised fullback we have.
I know.
Who was fit for the last game and might be the only one we have fit for this game. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Look, the one thing I would say is that I think England are better against better teams. I think England are better against more open teams. They're crap against the Ghanas of this world, but they're a bit better against better teams. They can express themselves a bit better. Mexico have not played a team as good as England. When England are good, they can be properly good, and I think actually man for man we're better than them.
Well, without a doubt, we're better than man for man. But the question is, we've talked about conditions, ad nauseum in terms of the altitude, but it also comes down to our form and their form. Yeah, they're brimming with confidence. They've not let a goal in yet, and we just look nervous and a little bit undercooked.
But we are England.
Yeah,
we're England, and at the end of the day. Everyone's a little bit scared of us, I think, still.
Okay, fair enough. Well, we'll see.
So, what's your prediction then?
Well, I don't. I've said all along. I see nothing other than a Mexico win. Nothing other than Mexico win. But I'm starting to kind of. I've kind of starting to change my mind a little bit. So probably just because it's match day and I'm a natural.
Someone's got a gun to your head now. Someone's got a gun to your head. You're going to say you come up with a score.
But it's difficult because
no,
because you can't put trigger.
He's just taking the safety off the pistol.
Well, he's just going to have to put it down until we know which England's going to turn up. Because the answer is very simple: if the England that have played thus far in the World Cup turn up, we'll lose. If an England can play like they can play, then we'll win. So it's impossible to say until we know which England's going to turn up.
Well, I'm going to get off the fence. England are winning 3-1.
Okay, that's bold.
There you go.
And okay, fair dues. And then the last one on the 6th of July is an eye-wateringly interesting game, the Iberico derby, Portugal versus Spain.
Yeah. Spain are going to absolutely batter them.
I feel they might, I think they'll just pass the ball around them.
Spain are going to win 3-0. Portugal are less than the sum of their parts, and we all know why. Spain are at least the sum of their parts, and they will just simply dominate Portugal.
Okay, fair enough. And then very quickly, because I'm not quite sure when we're going to pod again here, mate, in a couple of days' time. By that time, the United States might have played Belgium. They might not have done, and we don't know.
That's a good game.
So that's a 1 a.m. our time kickoff.
Yeah,
it was a good game. I would fancy the United States for this, but I'm slightly concerned because of Balogun's suspension after his ridiculous red card. I'm slightly concerned that that's going to blunt their attack. And Belgium are coming into this competition. Belgium are starting to play. They've warmed themselves up over the last couple of games.
Well, they
got
away with murder, didn't they, in the last game against Senegal? And they got away, 2-0 down with 10 minutes to play, and they win it. And so it almost feels like this is now a free hit for them. So I think Belgium will be buoyed by that. I want USA to win. I think USA have been a better team.
Yeah, I want USA to win. Yeah, I do as well.
And actually, I think the USA-Spain game would be an absolutely fabulous game. Fabulous game. So I can't. I'm rooting for Spain. I'm rooting for the USA. I think that would be the best thing for the competition.
Okay, there you have it. The best thing for the competition. Ken has spoken.
Oh yeah.
Right, that's it for now. Thank you very much indeed, as always, for your company, and keep enjoying the World Cup. We're nearly getting towards the latter stages now.
Oh my word! Yeah. Are you staying up for this one? Are you staying up for this?
What, for the England game?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm on a commuter train at 7:30. I'm in two minds. And I had a skinful last night. What should I do? What should I do, Dr. Britten?
Stay up. Well, no, go to bed now and then set the alarm and get up.
Yeah.
Get what? You can get sort of 6 hours sleep now.
Yeah. That's true. That's a good idea.
Actually, no, you can get 8 hours. You in bed now, you get 8 hours sleep.
Yeah, I'm not.
You get 9 hours sleep before kickoff. Huh?
I don't feel very tired though. I only got up about a few hours ago. All right.
You can do it anyway. You can do it.
Terrible.
Good. Well, until then, wishing Ken a very good night's sleep. The rest of us in this country will be watching and will be up all night. So until we meet again, look after yourselves. Look after each other. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
It's the Road to World Cup 26 podcast, your deep dive into everything FIFA World Cup every single week. Part of the Global Sports Podcast Network.